Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jen. Thank you so much for stopping by today's video. So today is a very exciting video because we are taking it back to basics. I had one of my Patreon members, her name is Kita. She is such a talented resin artist. She's the owner and maker of Created. I will leave it up on the screen. She requested a Tumbler for beginners session in the group, and my heart leaped for joy because she's coming over to the dark side. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing how I prep and paint a tumbler to get it ready for glittering and resin. So if this video interests you, if you are beginning your tumbler journey and you are looking for a walkthrough on how to start prepping your tumbler, then this is the video for you. If you find anything helpful in this video, please subscribe to the channel. It would really help me grow. And with that being said, let's get started. So in case that you are unaware, the reason why you want to prep your tumbler and not just slap some paint on there is you want everything to adhere nice to your tumbler. You ever worked on a project and you painted something and then it just starts chipping away? It's because your surface needs to be roughed up. This is a very smooth, slick surface. We need to rough this sucker up so that everything we put on the tumbler will stay put. So I am using a 30-ounce curvy. We're using this big mama right here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and take apart everything and put that aside. So just to begin, some of the things that we will need are some sanding paper blocks. This is my little sandpaper containers from the Dollar Tree. I'm a labeler, so don't judge me. And there are different types of sanding materials that you can use. I always get my sanding blocks from the Dollar Tree. I don't really know what the grit is, but I always get them from the Dollar Tree because I toss them often. So all of these are all from the Dollar Tree. It's $1. You can use something like this. This is some more Dollar Tree sanding paper. So you can either go with a sheet or a block. You can also use a handheld sander if that's what you have on hand. And then I found this at the Dollar Tree. It's not my favorite, but it does do the job when I need to really get in there. So for today's video, I am going to be using a Dollar Tree sanding block. We're going to put that away. And what we're going to be doing is taking our tumbler and we're going to sand it down until you don't see the shine anymore. You're going to see a ton of different like scratches on it. We want to really scratch up the surface so that when we go ahead and paint, everything would adhere nicely. So right now I don't have any inserts in here, so I'm just going to go ahead and take my sanding block and then just, you see how we just scratched up that surface right there? We want to remove all of the shine. So this is what you want to see when you are prepping your tumblers. This is a nice smooth edge. Nothing will stick here, but everything will stick onto this. Tumbler all sanded down. The next thing we want to do is rinse it off. You can either wash it in the sink and get all the dust off. You can use some Dawn dish soap and just lather it up, get it nice and cleaned, or you can use alcohol. And I'm going to be using alcohol for the purpose of this video. So just in case you don't have a sink near you, then you can go ahead and spray it down. So I am going to be using 91% alcohol from the Dollar Tree. This is a Dollar Tree spray bottle. And I'm also going to be using coffee filters. You want to make sure that if you're doing this method, you are using something without any lint. So you don't want to use like a rag or anything like that that may have lint on it, because if you do wash it, let's say you dry it with a cloth that has lint, and then you start painting, you might get those little strings of lint in your paint, in your spray paint or your acrylic paint, and you don't want that. So I am going to go ahead and spray the cup down, and then coffee filters. I always use coffee filters instead of a paper towel, just to avoid any lint getting on. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to spray my hands. Spray my hands down to get any dust off my hands. And then just take a quick little. And then you see no lint. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and spray down my cup, and I'm just gonna spray down really good. And I'll do this like 2 times. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and take my coffee filters. And coffee filters do not leave any lint. See? You can see how dirty that looks. So I'll do it one good time here. And then I will do it a second time for good measure. Make sure that it's nice and cleaned and ready for the next step. So the beginning parts of prepping your tumbler is very easy. And then once you get used to it, of course, it would just become second nature to you. But we are getting back to the basics. So we have sanded down our tumbler, and we have sprayed it down with alcohol to get any of the dust off. So that is the first step. So the second step is prepping for paint. All right, so I let my tumbler dry, and now we're just going to move on to the next step. I was just taking a little thumbnail photo. So here you can see that I have 2 different paint options. I have a pop of color paint, which is a chalk based paint. You can use acrylic paint, chalk paint, or if you want to go the spray paint route, then you just choose the color that you're going to go for with your project. Now, if you're going to go with acrylic paint or chalk paint, you will need multiple coats, of course, and there's really not that much prep that you need to do for this one. But if you're going to go the spray paint route, then I want to show you a trick that I use just to minimize my cleaning of the inside of the cup. So let's say we're going to spray paint this cup. This is how I would set up my cup. I would go ahead and put a clear cup. This is just a clear cup in here. And then I will spray paint it this way. I would usually have like a football attached to my turner wand, and then I will put it in here, and then I will spray paint it like this, so that whenever I am done and I remove the inside of my cup, there's no spray paint on the inside of my cup. So this is basically used as a barrier to cover the inside of your cup so nothing gets in, and then at the end when you're done, you're not like scrubbing the inside of your cup like a mad woman trying to get all the paint out. That is one tip. Or you can use, instead of a cup, you can use a paper plate. In the same sense, you would just make a little cut on your paper plate. You would slide it onto your wand. You will put it in your cup and then spray paint like this. The paper plate would make a little seal around the inside of your cup. Therefore, none of the fumes and the paint will get inside your cup. Another way is to just cover the rim of the cup with some tape. I would suggest using a thicker painter's tape, but I don't have any, so I'm just going to use what I have on hand. And then what you would do is you will just cover the entire rim like this. with your tape all the way around. And again, you would have your foam inside of your cup like this. Don't judge my foam. I've had it for a really long time. Obviously, you would just make it neater, and then you will spray paint the same way so that when you are done, you would just remove this tape and then the rim will be clean. So that is a little tip or hack that you can use if you're going to go the spray paint route. Now I am going to be using the Pop of Color paint, and this is in bright yellow. So I will skip that step. But again, you want to make it as easy as possible when you're done your tumbler to just get it out the door. So I'm just stuffing my foam into my cup. And when you're doing this, you want to make sure that your foam is all the way inside of your cup. You don't want to put resin on your cup while the foam is sticking out, because then when the resin is turning on the cup, there's a chance that it might get on your foam, and then you will have chunks of your foam, hence all these crazy pieces that are missing stuck to your cup, and you will have to really scrape that off. So the neater you are in the beginning of your process, the easier it will be later on when you're done with your project. So this is how I would get my tumbler ready to get painted. Again, I'm using Pop of Color. Now with acrylic paint, chalk paint, anything that's not spray paint, even sometimes spray paint, you will need about 2 coats, maybe 3, depending on how what is the word I'm looking for? I guess how pigmented your paint is. So you may have to do a couple coats, but for this video, we will just be doing 1 full coat, and then I will come back for another part of the video, which would be glittering. So I'm going to go ahead and get my paintbrush, and then I will do 1 coat, and then we will be all done for this tutorial portion. Before we begin, I just want to show you what the cup will look like once it is fully painted. So this is a cup that I was working on earlier. This is with the same Pop of Color paint, but in the neon pink. And as you can see, the base of this cup was a turquoise, so it's not going to be completely covered. So this is the look that it would be. Sometimes you might get brush strokes, so if you're covering your cup with glitter, you don't really have to worry about that. But if you're doing a cup that is not going to have glitter, you just have to be mindful of your brush strokes if you're going the paint route. And then this is another cup that I'm working on. I'm actually doing this tutorial as I'm filming this one. But this is another cup that I'm doing a no glitter tutorial, super easy. And this is also base painted in French blue from a Pop of Color paint, and the blue had really nice coverage and you could not see the brush strokes. So sometimes you'll see the brush strokes and then sometimes you won't. So this is what your base cup will look like once you paint it with the Pop of Color paint or acrylic paint. All right, so let's move on. Again, I have my cup here ready to go, and then I'm going to be using this brush that CCDIY sent me with my order. So you can use any brush. I've used one of my favorite brushes to use, actually, it's from the Dollar Tree, is the Elf blush brush. My friend Deanna had recommended it, and I love it, but it's dirty because I was using it for the cups that I just showed you. So I'm just gonna be using this one, and this is the first time I'm using this particular color, so I'm excited to see what it looks like. And more than likely I will need a few coats. Ooh, it's so pretty. All right, so this is a little tight for this cup. All right, let's see what the coverage will be. All right, not too bad. So I will probably need about 3 coats of this paint in order to get full coverage. And then by the time I do part 2, I will have this fully covered, so you guys will be able to see what the cup looks like. So I'm going to continue and painting this cup. Again, this is going to be multiple parts. But I would love for you guys to subscribe if you haven't done so already, and leave me some suggestions in the comments of beginner friendly things that you would like for me to make a video on. I would love to do that. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at BGoandCo. Check out my website. You guys get 10% off with code YouTube10 at checkout. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.